Hello and welcome to the Kopala TV main news. We get straight into our headlines. SACORD commends Zambia for being ranked as the 4th most peaceful country on the African continent and 44th in the world. Nkana Water and Sanitation's company requires $600 million for new water lines. DP worried over high levels of unemployment in the country. And in international news, new COVID-19 outbreak in China, a threat to economic recovery. Join us in a bit after this. To present the main news, my name is Wabwila Musongole. The Southern African Center for the Constructive Resolution of Disputes, SACORD, has welcomed and commended Zambia for being ranked as the 4th most peaceful country on the African continent and the 44th most peaceful country in the world, as contained in the 14th edition of the Global Peace Index, GPI. SACORD Executive Director Boniface Chembe says the GPI, which is the world's leading measure of peacefulness for the universe, ranks 163 independent countries and territories around the world as per their levels of peacefulness and is conducted by the Institute of Economics and Peace, IEP. Mr. Chembe told Kopala TV this morning SACORD would like to appeal to all Zambians to never take for granted the peace that the country has been enjoying since independence.
SACORD welcomes and commends Zambia for being ranked as the 4th most peaceful country on the African continent and the 44th most peaceful country in the world as contained in the 14th edition of the Global Peace Index, GPI. The GPI, which is the world's leading measure of peacefulness for the universe, ranks 163 independent countries and territories around the world as per their levels of peacefulness, and is conducted by the Institute of Economics and Peace, IEP. At a global level, the 2020 GPI has shown that Zambia's level of peacefulness have increased by 5 points compared to the previous GPI. In addition, the 2020 GPI indicates that the levels of peace in Zambia is high, which is commendable and shows that Zambia and its leaders in the past and the present, since 2015 through President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, have been taking correct actions where peace is concerned. In sub-Saharan Africa, Zambia is ranked the 4th most peaceful country, only behind Mauritius, Botswana, and Ghana. SACORD would therefore like to appeal to all citizens of Zambia to never take the peace that we have been enjoying since independence for granted. Peace does not come by accident. It has to be constantly worked on and nurtured. This aspect of peace is evidenced by the fact that the 2020 GPI found that levels of global peacefulness in the last year deteriorated, which represents the 4th time in the previous 5 years that the world has experienced a deterioration in the levels of peacefulness. It is therefore paramount that Zambia is consistent in observing all the fundamentals that have contributed to the attainment and maintenance of peace.
Nkana Water and Sewage Company says the firm needs $600 million to put up new water lines, especially because the community has been expanding, adding that the water utility is aware of the many challenges that members of the community are facing in terms of water and sanitation. Nkana Water and Sanitation Company Assistant Public Relations Officer Maxwell Tonga says the firm has been facing a number of challenges in the past few years because there was little investment in the water sector.
We need about $600 million to completely improve the situation on the ground, both water and sanitation. What so far we've done, we've used about 39 million with a new project. In the last project, I will not be able to talk over that with the other figures what have gone in, just to put up new water lines, new water network.
Mr. Tonga added that it is key that members of the community value and appreciate the services provided by the firm and stop vandalizing Nkana Water and Sewage properties. The Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition Alliance, CSO-SUN, has appealed to all stakeholders to look into the factors contributing to the high levels of malnutrition in the country. The appeal was in line with the organization's commemoration of the Day of the African Child, which falls on the 16th of June under this year's theme, Access to Child-Friendly Justice Systems in Africa. In a statement made available to Kopala TV, CSO's Sun Country Coordinator Matthews Muhuru cited that many child deaths are recorded as a result of malnutrition, further urging stakeholders to come together to support government's efforts in addressing the matter in question.
Society Scaling Up Nutrition Alliance joins the rest of the world in commemorating the Day of an African Child, which falls on the 16th of June. And for the 2020 theme, which is access to child-friendly justice systems in Africa, we are actually appealing to all stakeholders to really review the factors that are contributing to the high levels of malnutrition among children. And just knowing that malnutrition claims nearly half of all the deaths that we recorded of children, this should be addressed, and this is something that all stakeholders have to come together and just complement government efforts in really seeing how they can be addressed. So we know, for example, that children that are living in incarceration or those that are born in circumstantial circumstances have the worst vulnerabilities. So if at all we are not really putting into consideration these children that are living in these situations, then we are really missing out on the opportunities that we can utilize to address the vulnerabilities of children.
Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, has expressed solidarity with government concerning the directive given by President Edgar Lungu yesterday, encouraging Zambians to explore opportunities in waste management and recycling. President Lungu said this while touring companies that are recycling plastic products and commended the manufacturing of products for export out of recycled plastic and other waste materials by firms such as L&N Matrix Limited. ZEMA Public Relations Officer Irene Chipili says the presidential directive is welcome as legislation to support it has already been established, in addition to the Extended Producer Responsibility EPR regulations being implemented by ZEMA to manage the manufacturing of plastic carrier bags.
No, it's very pleasing to see the head of state getting to that level and visiting some of these industries, because government has already established legislation to support that directive that was being given by the president yesterday. You may be aware that as a country, we are, ZEMA in particular, is implementing what is referred to as the Extended Producer Responsibility EPR regulations, statutory instrument number 65 of 2018. This is the one that regulates the manufacture of plastic carrier bags and flat bags, but it's broad enough to cover other types of packaging products.
In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. We break for commercials. We'll be right back.
Kopala TV, Kopala ya buena mumwesu Kopala.
My number. Ishusho limentindeya za yama OG Orushani. Kopala TV.
Yama OG. Imuntu wandi Yesu. Fwebene by fwebene. Fwebene. Naidede kalasti. Iyako Kopala futi yaba Kopala.
Manje kuikatashani yoina. Naena ya kuntambo oroni jiviji.
Wala iwe. Ile sangwa patopsta decoder. Channel 98 paku. Ninshi ya tuvela. Puta mensa ninshi ya lila ni efidimbri. Kule izimoli la femunjazi.
So yuri landati Kopala TV tayawanga ya maboiling channel wako watu wachila tamba fe wino. Kwangwa filamba fyambo kupona. Uruwa mfotoro. Bantu ifuma channel wefingi fyamo pura fi.
Alola iwe. Kopala TV ni Kopala futi eile kuchalo. No shali mokuba molasti. Elo ile sansa Kopala yonse my number. Ukwambila pepa my number pandola. Lwansha pakito paketike mufurila mufuken chingola pachingo begi na chilila bombwewe ni Kopala TV liko
muntu wanja pakushongora kufika top star wetata ndetambira pofi Kopala TV pachani o 98 apa kude konkana ne charo bamba to bamba ni pate after pate wo pate after pate wo ha ha Kopala TV OG yeah. Kopala TV available on Topstar channel 98. Kopala TV, entertainment just for you.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
One Zambia, one nation.
Zambia chalo chesu. Stop political violence.
I am Zambian. I am against political violence.
I am Zambian, and I say disarm all cadres now.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
It's not good killing one another as Zambians. Stop the violence.
Let's keep the peace in our streets. Let's work to stay one Zambia.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
Ndimwina Zambia. Lekeni ukulwa pamulandu wa politics.
Welcome back. Women in Lufanyama district on the Copperbelt are calling on government to consistently release social cash transfer to various households in the area that have been affected by hunger in the district. They said the money allocated to them is used in running their homes and taking children to school. Details are in the following report.
The Social Cash Transfer Program is one of the major social protection interventions whose aim is to continuously reduce extreme poverty in the country. That is why the government released 4 million kwacha in December last year under the emergency cash transfer to empower households that are badly hit by the current hunger situation. However, the women of Chief Shumukonami's chiefdom of Lufanyama district on the Copperbelt have an appeal to government.
Nolo baletu atiawe mule sunga mwabana tulefuro kutamani kai pare kokola kanunga shire ko nkani yako pakwa twashibonfya buino olulu pia kwena kale kwa kuteleka fumo poto wapokele but ni last mjula kushinta na lelo tabalatera so tulesa ngo wafe kusunga abana kumayanda kai lula twafwa ko muri fumo mwetu ngo wapoka tulashibonfya ko muri fumo ngomba pali no statulechula pali tutuleka.
That said, the coming of the COVID-19 has affected many households in Lufanyama, adding that money helping taking children to school.
Women's empowerment. Pano pa katembula fwevo baitutolokere chiri mu section mose. Na papa na pakatembula po pali banine fwe avenga pyunga amakwevo. So na fwevo turukupengera nekulomba kubute koko bati bukatulangurika na fwevo pakatembula nanga bati mu muse bantu balisha chionse fisa fya kutamu muse mu katembula. Pano findi kiratuchiruka.
The women says the social cash transfer was last allocated to them in June last year. Victoria Mkupo reporting in Lufanyama.
Moving on, the Democratic Governance and Human Rights Advocate, DEGA, says the organization expects members of parliament to present what people in various constituencies want to see as the Bill number 10 is being tabled in parliament today. The civil society organization coordinator, Gerald Mutelo, says it is unfortunate that some members of parliament have not consulted the people on the Bill number 10 of 2019. Mr. Mutelo noted that the presentation of the Bill number 10 should not be tabled on their personal interests or that of their political parties.
Our expectation is that the members of parliament should do what the people want. And we are aware that a number of MPs have not even consulted their people over the Bill 10. So the issue is those that have consulted the people, let them do what the people want. The MPs should not do things just for their personal gain or benefit or for the benefit of their political party. But they should make decisions or debate issues according to what people who sent them to parliament want. And the message is very clear. There should no personal interest or political interest at all.
The Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, has urged youths in the country to continue expressing their freedom of speech. UPND Copperbelt Youth spokesperson Lazarus Sichamba said this in an interview with Kopala TV. Mr. Sichamba has, however, condemned the level of unemployment among the youths in the country.
The issue of unemployment, even at CEC, the government declared the CEC pose as common carriers, and they want to reduce to say 30% for you to use CEC lines. And what is going to happen to unemployment? There will be a huge unemployment, and the huge unemployment, it will affect mainly the youths. Youths are the most vulnerable in this country. So when the youth speaks, you should listen, not trying to threaten them.
In the same vein, the Democratic Party says it is worried about the level of unemployment in the country. DP Copperbelt Youth Chairperson Richard Musa says a lot of promises have been made to the nation at large since President Edgar Lungu came into office. Mr. Musa said this in an interview with Kopala TV.
As Democratic Party youth, we are very worried and concerned on the high levels of unemployment, because if we are to go back, or if we are to look at the time President Edgar Lungu came into office, a lot of promises have been made to the nation at large. I'll pick examples like on the 12th of August 2015, President Edgar Lungu made a promise to the youth to say 500,000 jobs will be created. And this was during the launch of the Youth Policy and Action Plan under Youth Empowerment. And then the same year, the then Minister of Tourism and Arts, Honorable Jean Kapata, made a promise to the citizens of this country to say 300,000 jobs will be created. This was during the national commemoration of the UN World Tourism in Livingstone. On the 26th of September, Madam Kapata did make that promise to the people of Zambia. And then last year, 2015, the Copperbelt Minister, Honorable Jacet Mwakalombe, during the laying of wreaths in Ndola on the Youth Day, on the 12th of March, he did make a promise to say 200,000 jobs will be created for the youth. During the Copperbelt Expo that was held in June. Now, as citizens of this country, especially the youth, we are asking the PF government to say, you
are still watching the Kopala TV main news. We break once again. We'll be right back.
Kopala, Kopala TV, Kopala, ya buena mumwesu, Kopala. Kopala TV.
My number ishusho limentindeya za yama oji orushani Kopala TV
Yama oji, imuntu wandi Yesu. Fwebene by fwebene, fwebene. I did the kalasti. Yako Kopala futi yaba Kopala.
Manje kuikatashani yoina na ena ya kuntambo oro ni jiviji.
Wala iwe. Ile sango patopsta decoder channel 98 paku. Ninshi yatubila puta mensa ninshi yalila ni efidimbri. Kule izimoli la femunjazi.
So yuri landati Kopala TV tayawanga ya maboiling channel wako watu wachila tamba fe wino kwangwa filamba fyambo kupona uruwa mfotoro pantu ifuma channel fingi fyamo pura fi.
Alula iwe, Kopala TV ni Kopala futhi kuchalo. No shali mokuba molasti. Elo ile sansa Kopala yonse my number. Ukwambila pepe my number pandula lwansha kito paketi ke mufudila mufuken chingola pa chingo begi na chidila iwe. Ni Kopala TV liko.
Muntu wanja pa kushongora fika top star we tatande tambera po fi Kopala TV pachani o 98 pa kude konkana ne charo bumper to bamba ni pate after pate wo pate after pate wo Kopala TV OG Kopala TV available on Topstar channel 98. Kopala TV, entertainment just for you.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
One Zambia, one nation.
Zambia chalo chesu. Stop political violence.
I am Zambian. I am against political violence.
I am Zambian, and I say disarm all cadres now.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
It's not good killing one another as Zambians. Stop the violence.
Let's keep the peace in our streets. Let's work to stay one Zambia.
It's not one Zambia if we kill each other. Stop the violence.
Ndimwina Zambia, lekeni ukulwa pamulandu wa politics.
Welcome back, and now for international news. Economic analysts say a new outbreak of novel coronavirus risks China's recovery. A lockdown has been imposed in at least 20 neighborhoods in the capital, Beijing, where dozens of new infections have been reported. Chinese industrial output last month grew at its strongest rate since the virus was detected in December, but shop sales are slow as consumers remain cautious. We monitored Al Jazeera for this story.
Last week, Nelson Kwan and his wife Abby spent time at their local cafe in Beijing, played golf, and were planning a trip to beaches in southern China. On Monday, they were asked to take COVID-19 tests, along with everyone living in their residential compound.
Okay, so I just finished having my throat swabbed.
The discovery of a new outbreak in nearby Phung Thai district sparked a lockdown of around 20 neighborhoods on Sunday.
And they're very rapid in terms of how fast they reacted to this. I mean, it is kind of scary to just, I mean, it's like out of the blue, like where the hell did this freaking virus come from, right?
The new cluster, reportedly originating in Xinfadi, the biggest wholesale food market in Beijing, is threatening China's economic recovery. Industrial output is bouncing back. In May, it rose by 4.4% compared to this time last year, but retail sales fell by almost 3%, and fears of a second wave of infections could keep consumers cautious.
It probably shows that there are some more problems in food supply and also the government's ability to contain this virus. So I think people will be very cautious in their spending.
More than 80,000 people have been tested since Friday. Dozens are confirmed to have COVID-19. On the other side of Beijing, it's business as usual, but temperature and security checks have intensified. Schools due to reopen this week remained closed. Some travel restrictions reintroduced.
US President Donald Trump says he will sign an executive order on police reform on Tuesday. The order is aimed at improving police training and improving the way in which mental health issues are dealt with. However, it is not expected to address systematic racism. The move follows protests after the death of 2 Black American men in police custody. We monitored Al Jazeera once again.
As protests continue to gather pace across the nation, the family of Rayshard Brooks gave their first emotional press conference. The 27-year-old father of 3 died on Friday after he was shot twice in the back by a police officer. His death has been ruled a homicide. The officer who killed him has been fired, and his grieving family wants justice.
Because tomorrow, we're going to have to deal with it again. We're going to have to bury him. We're going to have to say, we miss you. And if we didn't say we love you enough, we got to apologize to him for not telling him that we loved him that much.
Rayshard Brooks was killed 3 weeks after George Floyd died in Minneapolis, after an officer knelt on his neck for almost 9 minutes. Now, police forces across the US are promising major reforms to procedures, community policing, and their relationship with African Americans. In New York, the city's anti-crimes unit, comprising of around 600 police officers, will be reassigned. The unit was involved in the death of Eric Garner in 2014 and was responsible for a disproportionate number of shootings and complaints.
Make no mistake, this is a seismic shift in the culture of how the NYPD polices this great city. It will be felt immediately throughout the 5 district attorneys' offices. It will be felt immediately in the communities that we protect.
Despite his insistence that law and order must be enforced, President Trump says the death of Rayshard Brooks is concerning.
Thought it was a terrible situation. I studied it closely. I'm going to get some reports done today, very strong reports, and we'll have a little more to say about it tomorrow, but certainly it was very disturbing.
On Tuesday, it's expected President Trump will sign an executive order aiming to improve police training, weeding out bad officers, and improving dealing with mental health issues. It's not expected his order will address systemic racism.
Finally, in international news, England and Manchester United footballer Marcus Rashford has been speaking about his own experiences of poverty and being short of food as a child. He was describing childhood as he campaigned for the government to provide free school meal vouchers for vulnerable children throughout the school holidays. Rashford has written to every MP for support after helping to raise £20 million for food for low-income families during the lockdown. We monitor the BBC for this story.
Has not been on the field long.
He's a hero on the pitch and one of Manchester United's highest-earning players. But Marcus Rashford hasn't forgotten his roots. He has raised £20 million to supply meals to families in what he calls the pandemic of food poverty. In an emotional letter, he describes how his mother, a single parent, struggled to feed her 5 children while earning the minimum wage.
You know, my mum, she'd done the best she could. I remember we used to go to a shop called
pound world, and everything was under £1, and we sort of schedule out the week, so we'd get 7 yogurts and you can have 1 yogurt a day, and this is all going on at a time where kids should be concentrating on schoolwork, and it's just crazy to think that this is still going on at this, we're in 2020 now, and it's just something that I don't believe should be happening.
Marcus Rashford hopes the government will change its mind and find what's believed to be around £120 million to fund the voucher scheme over the summer holidays.
Well, basically, I'm just hoping that the government make a U-turn on the decision to stop the free meal vouchers, and I'm just hoping they do it as soon as possible. Really, I know they've mentioned that they usually do this, this time of year, summer holidays. But because of COVID, the situation's been completely different for everyone in the world. So circumstances change. So I think they have to be willing to make that decision to go back on themselves.
That item ends the Kopala TV main news for today. But before we go, we recap on our headlining stories. Sakord commends Zambia for being ranked as the 4th most peaceful country on the African continent and 44th in the world. Kana Water and Sanitation Company requires $600 million for new water lines. DP worried over high levels of unemployment in the country. And in international news, new COVID-19 outbreak in China, a threat to economic recovery. Thank you for watching the Kopala TV main news. Please be sure to join our online community by following our Facebook page and subscribing to our YouTube channel, both at Kopala TV. My name is Alvila Musongole, and thank you.
Thank you.